texts for the coming Sunday, and this Sunday we have Mark's little apocalypse, the 13th chapter. I want to read the first verse. And he came out of the temple, and one of his disciples said to him, "Look, teacher, what wonderful stones and what wonderful buildings." And Jesus said to him, "Do you see these great buildings? There will not be one stone left upon another that will not be thrown down." I can identify with the disciples coming out of that temple and seeing those huge stones and thinking that here was something magnificent, here was something permanent that was going to last and be here for generations and generations, something that they could hang their hat on and really count on. And Jesus says, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled, because what seems permanent in this life is often very fleeting and very temporary. And I was trying to wonder what that would look like in our lives. What do we have to compare that to? We had our Bible study last night, and we were going around trying to think about what that would be. And the closest thing that I could come to with that was the September 11th. September 11th and what that was like. Those World Trade Towers, where I grew up in northern New Jersey, I could see them across the bay, across the river, and I watched them grow up, going up when I was younger. And they seemed like they would be there forever. Magnificent structures that just looked so permanent and so completely there for good. And in this area where we are in Northern Virginia, we have a cold afternoon here today, the Pentagon. I hadn't realized how close the Pentagon was as you go off on 395 and go down to the Crystal City Mall, and just people going back and forth in business. The Pentagon is right there, and what an impact that must have had to see that building struck. That Pentagon, such a permanent structure, sitting there almost like a stone, as solid and as complete and impermeable as a stone. And that, I think, was the closest reality. And what happened to our country after that, how we were just propelled by fear, and how fear took over and really made us and drove our actions and drove our policies, and really we're still feeling the effects of that from one sense or another. And we were trying to figure out what Jesus was talking about in this lesson for the first 8 verses. And I think that I heard a wonderful example at our Bible study. One of our members was sitting and talking, and she was relating that her son was in the World Trade Center towers at the time of the attack, and she saw this happening, and she was worried sick, as you can imagine. She was worried sick about what was happening, and she remembered that when they were younger, when they were boys and she was a mother and growing up, every night that they would have a bedtime prayer time, and she said that she had impressed on her sons that whenever there was something troubling them or they were facing a difficult time that she couldn't be there, that they were to pray. They were to pray, and they promised that they would do that. And she remembered that when she was watching that event, knowing that her son was somewhere in those towers, not sure what had happened to him, but knowing that he was in danger. And she remembered that. It flashed back to her that they had made this pact, and she started praying, and she took tremendous comfort in the fact that in her mind she was joined in prayer to her son that was in those towers as they were under attack and going up in flame. And she realized that she was connected to something much more permanent and much deeper beyond the transience of that world, of those events that were happening. There was something deeper and something more permanent almost like looking at the surface of water and connecting to the deeper currents underneath of it. It gave her tremendous comfort. And fortunately, she received word that her son was safe, and her son survived and came through that attack. But I think that's what Jesus was talking about. As the world goes about its business with wars and rumors of wars and all of the things that cause us to run and be propelled and motivated by fear, Jesus says, don't be afraid. Do not be afraid. Not that we shouldn't be concerned, not that we shouldn't be react to things that are going on in our world, not that we should sit passively back and saying, oh, who cares? But to connect to those deeper elements, those deeper currents in our lives that go beyond the surface. And that's what God is for us. Those deeper currents that we, through prayer, can connect to. And we have in that prayer an assurance that no matter what happens, no matter what events, no matter what wars or rumors of war take place, because the world is going to continue to go about its business, we can still be connected to something deeper, something real, and something still that runs beneath the surface of things and connects us to what truly lasts. And that is our relationship with our Father in heaven. Thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next time.